Welcome to our solar electric trailer journey. In today's episode, we will be talking about our visit to Savannah, Georgia. And right now, we are sitting in Chippewa Square, which is dedicated to James Oglethorpe,
the founder of Georgia. So he was a British soldier, and he founded the colony of Georgia back in the late 1600s, early 1700s.
Yep. And it's a beautiful park. It's got very old oak trees with Spanish moss hanging all over. It's just beautiful to see. But this park is also famously known for the movie Forrest Gump, where Tom Hanks sits on the bench.
Yeah, we're seated on a bench that really wasn't in the shot. The bench that Forrest Gump sat on was a prop. The movie prop wasn't a permanent part of the park and is gone. It's in a museum.
Yes.
We may visit later today and share that with you. But it's this is a beautiful park, and we are just maybe 6 to 10 feet from where Forrest Gump was filmed and where Tom Hanks sat on the bench.
That's downtown Savannah, and it is gorgeous here.
Behind us, you can see the church. If you remember Forrest Gump's opening scene with the feather, that church features prominently in the floating feather that finally lands on Forrest Gump's foot. So, anyway, that's where we are.
Bye.
We'll have more to say later today.
Bye. Behind us is the actual prop bench that Tom Hanks sat on for the movie Forrest Gump, and is now being carefully guarded in the Savannah History Museum.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this movie prop alongside all the other elements of like genuine history here in the museum. But it's an interesting little museum and worth a few minutes to stop by and check it out.
Here we are in Savannah, Georgia at Forsyth Park.
Behind us, you can see the beautiful fountain.
This fountain is interesting. It was ordered from a catalog in 1858, and other cities around the world liked it so much that they also ordered the same fountain. This fountain is in Forsyth Park, and many people come to take pictures of it. It's a very iconic picture-taking fountain. Here we are in Savannah, Georgia, standing in front of the Congregation Mikvah Israel Synagogue.
This is one of the oldest in the country, right? It's the, what is it, the third
It's
oldest?
It's the third oldest in America.
Yeah, it's amazing. Condé Nast says that this building is one of the 15 most beautiful synagogues in the world. And George Washington paid attention to and wrote a very nice dedication to this synagogue and this congregation back in 1790. So it really is a historic, important spot. You know, right in the historic center of Savannah. It's well worth taking a moment to pop by and see this. And if you call ahead, you can even get a tour. So
yeah, it's beautiful. Come and see it. Here we are in Savannah's historic city market. It has been here since the 1700s. It's a 4-block, open-air dining and shopping market where you can find fabulous things to buy.
yeah, it's a very touristy place, but it's delightfully quaint. It's kind of a fun spot. You can get a little bit of a glimpse there, but it's really worth the stop if you're visiting Savannah. And you know, again, bring some money if you want to really enjoy this spot. But it's worth stopping by, regardless of how your wallet's situated. At least scoot by and see it.
You may just want to walk through.
Yeah. Hi, well, now we're in along the waterfront here in Savannah, and this is a beautiful area that was redeveloped beginning in the 1970s. This is the old port where cotton shipped, and in the mid-1800s, with the leveraging free labor of slavery, Savannah was the world's largest exporter of cotton. But the last cotton exporter closed in 1956. The port was essentially abandoned. Savannah was in trouble. And in the 1970s, the city began an effort to redevelop this into a commercial place. So it's bars, restaurants, shops, all kinds of things along the waterfront. And now there are a number of hotels
There's a free ferry that runs around. The Georgia Queen is parked just down the way.
And there's this beautiful walkway just to stroll with your friends or your family and enjoy. It's great.
Yeah, it's a great little place to visit, and the revitalization of Savannah is tied directly to revitalizing this community.
We are standing here on the Riverwalk, and you can see behind us the ferry that we just got off of. It goes from one side of the river to the other side. On the other side is the convention center, and on this side where we are is all the cool stuff to do.
Yeah, it stops in 2 spots on the cool side.
Oh, and it's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah, that is really important. But yeah, it's a fun way to see, and of course the view from the cool side, where we spend most of our time, where all the shops and stores are, is not great. So it's fun to go over to the convention center side to see the more cool view of the waterfront. Of course, that view is best in the morning when the sun is on that waterfront in just the right way. So if you're interested in great photos of that or a great view of that, make sure to do the ferry in the morning. Get over there to get that view.
Hi. We just wanted to recap our day here in Savannah, Georgia before we wrap up. This was our first time in Savannah and we loved it. It's a very walkable city, so we spent the whole day walking to various sites, different places to visit and see.
Yeah, it was great. We showed you most of the places that we visited, and about the only transportation we used was that ferry to get around. But it really is a spectacularly beautiful city. As you walk the streets, you get a sense of being in the moment in history. So many of the buildings remain original and are in good shape. I say original, these are buildings from the 1800s, many of them, and so you get a real sense of walking through history, and so it's beautiful in that regard.
And there is a lot of history here. You can spend more than one day if you wanted to and really check out all the historic sites around Savannah.
Folks here are proud of their legacy in the Revolutionary War. I think with good reason. There was a major battle fought here that was one of the most significant battles of the Revolutionary War. And so folks in Georgia and folks in Savannah especially have great pride in that. But it's a complicated history. We can't ignore that either. In Forsyth Park, there remains a big Confederate monument celebrating the Confederacy. And I find that heartbreaking to think that we are celebrating people who were willing to die for the right to enslave others. I know it's described in other ways by other people, but that's really what the Civil War was about, and it's tragic to me that is celebrated by anyone.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was encouraging to me is, despite the troubled history, many of the people I see here are African American. This is their town. This is where they live, and so this is it was good for me to be able to personally. I felt good about seeing so many black faces here, knowing that they don't reject this community, and if they don't reject this community, certainly I can appreciate the beauty and all of the other things that I see here. So,
I talked about that we walked all day, and it's a very walkable city, but if you don't want to walk, there are many ways to get around Savannah. There are many tours. We saw segways, we saw carriages, we saw buses.
The trolley tours. There
trolley.
There was even a tour going on in an old hearse. Yeah. So, however you want to tour Savannah, you can tour Savannah. You pick your mode of transportation, just about, and you can tour Savannah.
It's a beautiful city. So if it's not on your travel list, put it on your travel list. Come and see it. We loved it.
All righty. Well, thanks for being with us this week. If you've been to Savannah and you have thoughts about our thoughts or thoughts about your experience, please
Yeah.
be sure to share those in the comments or by reply to the newsletter.
Thanks. Bye.
When we heard our Rivian wouldn't be delivered until Christmas of 2023, we decided to see what we could tow with our Chevy Bolt.
Launching our solar electric trailer journey.
We have a lot to learn, and we're sharing what we discover along the way,
We've added solar panels to our A-Liner Scout pop-up trailer.
preparing us for doing the same on a bigger trailer when the Rivian arrives.
Join us by subscribing now.